Thank you so much for meeting with me today. I am really grateful that we get to have these parent-teacher conferences because this gives me an opportunity to tell you some really great things about your students and what they're doing in my classroom. And I'm glad that we get to talk about Scott today. And I just want to let you know that Scott is a very determined child, and he is always willing to follow directions in my class. And he does the best when he's reading with me, and I sometimes pull him back into the little table that we have in the back during reading time, and he reads with me, and he takes a easy decodable reader, which is at a perfect level for him, and he just reads his books to me, and he always tries his best, and I have always been really happy that he's been so willing to work with me. That's the most important thing I think I could say, is just how determined and willing he is to do and to become better. So I just want to let you know about some assessments that I administered to Scott. And the reason why I do assessments and I have things like this is to just see what areas that we can work on together. You know, a lot of people think of assessments and they are worried because they think it's just all the things that they can't do or that they do wrong. But in reality, it's just data for me to use as a resource to know how I can better help your child. So the two assessments that I administered was first a reading record sheet, and he read a book to me called The King Lost His Ring. And a running record sheet, I was able to check off the words that he got right, and I was able to see how well he understood the word. And I wrote down the words that he may need some more help on. So this is a great assessment because it shows me, you know, maybe how quickly he can read as well. This also helps me to do the core phonics survey, and this was a really big thing that I wanted to focus on. Is this core phonics survey is important because it helps the student to use decoding skills to pronounce the words that he's given. And just a couple of areas that I want to discuss that I feel like maybe he could use a little more help in are his reading scores from this survey and the assessments, and also his interaction with the other kids. I noticed in class that he seems to get really down on himself during independent work time, and he has a hard time seeing the good work that he can do. And every time we do an art project or a reading activity or writing activity, he will show me his writing and say, "Oh, it's not good enough. I'm a terrible writer. I can't write good enough." Or when we do an art project, he'll say, "I'm a terrible artist. I can't do this." And you know, it's a little disheartening for me as a teacher, and also for him. I mean, positivity is important in a classroom because he needs to prove to himself that he can do this, and he can. And I've told him multiple times that he has opportunities to improve his learning abilities. So I feel like that has been a really hard thing for him, because positivity and believing in himself is a key if he wants to increase his learning abilities. And also, based on the assessment that I administered, I'll focus on the core phonics survey because I feel like that was more effective. This was a survey where I could determine exactly what areas he's struggling in. And in this case, the assessment showed me that he's struggling in reading and decoding skills. He has some trouble with some consonant vowel consonant words, long vowel spelling, multisyllabic words, or controlled vowels. So basically I want to focus on how, based on this, I can help him to increase his reading and decoding skills. So I plan to take the results from this assessment and create lessons that are specific to his own needs. And myself or another teacher aide will administer these lessons to Scott so that he can receive adequate attention one-on-one. And I also plan to have a chart that will help him keep his motivation up in the classroom. And I feel like a sticker chart is a really helpful thing for a second grader and for little kids. Every time he's doing well in the classroom, if he ever feels like he's doing well, or if he's reminded by me that he's doing well, he could put a sticker on his chart. And this is a physical reminder for him that he can do hard things. And these intrinsic rewards help him to develop a sense of intrinsic motivation where he can receive satisfaction from knowing that he's doing a good job in class. But I mean, I want to focus on his strengths. more often. Children need to have their strengths focused on. And so during the core phonics survey, I was really impressed by how well he was doing at recognizing vowel sounds. He was really great at his alphabet skills. He was really great at his vowels. He did really well in some of his spelling words as well. I noticed how, because of this, it's a great start to knowing other phonics techniques. And because he was able to recognize the vowel sounds, both long and short vowel, he's able to take that and decode other multisyllabic words as long as he practices. And so I am suggesting for both you and for me to take home some flashcards with words on it that second graders should know. And I have some flashcards right here. I can get you more if you like. I would like to send these home with you, and I'll have a copy for me too. And I really would love it for you to work on these every single night with him. And I also love charts, so I feel like I can also send a chart home with you where he can mark off the words that he's doing, and it will really increase his reading skills. And along with that, I also believe wholeheartedly that it's really helpful for him to be able to read every single night to somebody, or to be read to. It can be you as parents, it can be an older sibling, it can be a grandparent, whoever you have in your house. This will help him to recognize different words and to be able to use them in another context, such as school. So based on these, it's all for him to help him to succeed. And I just want you to realize how great your child is, and you shouldn't look at these assessments or these spelling cards or flashcards to say, oh, my child is doing horrible in class. Think of it as a way to help him to improve and become better. And he is so determined to do well in school, and he has the capacity to learn. He just needs to believe in himself. And I really would love it if we all made a better effort to be positive, and to help him to be positive, because when he's not positive, it really affects his learning. And I've seen that even with me. When I get upset or I'm negative, I have a harder time getting things done. So I would just also make sure that you're reading every single night together, and that you have the opportunity to just kind of take a minute before bed, wind down, read a story together, have him read to you, either one, and really spend that time with him and make him feel loved. And I'm not saying that you don't love your child, obviously, but just make him, believe in himself more. And when he struggles to get his reading done, or if he's ever having a hard time with his flashcards, just remind him of what he's already learned and accomplished. And I, as a teacher, will also remind him of this as well. And I am determined to work with him often and help him to learn these skills to succeed. And so I will give these to you. And if you have any questions, please call me or email me, and we will work together on helping Scott to succeed.